Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Rob. This is the Hobby Desk, and today we're back at the dining room table because today we've got some set dressing. Today we're going to talk about the Warlord Games Open day. We're going to talk a little bit about Konflikt 47, some upcoming releases, what was said on the day, what was on show on the day, what we saw on the day. So without further ado, where do we begin, I suppose? I'll slot this little video in.
Good morning guys, hope you're all keeping well. My name's Rob, this is the Hobby Desk. So the Hobby Desk is the Hobby Mobile. And today we're off to Nottingham, so it's the Warlord Games Open day. So hopefully we have a good day. And I'll put some things together for a video. Catch you in a new one. Ta-ra.
And that was me in the car, getting ready to set off to Warlord on Saturday morning. Set off nice and early. I had to leave about 7 AM from my house. I'm about 2 hours away. So I like to get to places early, get parked up. And I'm glad I did, because when I got there, I thought I'll be there just for 9, I'll get parked up, I might have a little walk around the industrial estate on, stretch my legs. There was a lot of parking. There was a lot of parking. There was no parking. I managed to find a spec, got in nice and quick. And so got myself parked up, got myself set up. A little sit in the car, a few people milling around, people sitting in the cars, things like that. Because the doors didn't open until 10. So there I am, and all of a sudden this massive queue appeared. So I wanted to best go and get in the queue. So join the queue, tick your name off the list as you're going, so you have to pre-order your tickets. I went on my own because I'm a Billy No Mates. So I'm new to the world of bolt action, as you know. I've started me British Airborne Starter Army. If you've been following the channel, you've seen some videos for that. Might pop up there or here somewhere. Picked up a Currahee starter set as well. Obviously, Konflikt 47, the big one. This what the weekend was all about. Just got there nice and early, got there parked up. Excited to get in. Went down the queue, ticking everyone off as you got in there. Make sure you've got a ticket. This time you should be there. Told us a little bit about there was seminars on the day, factory tours. There was little events like a paint and take. You could paint a Star Troop, and there was a kit bashing event on. And as I'm talking, guys, because this video will be a little bit of a ramble, you won't just be looking at me. I'll put some videos, some pictures up from the day, things we saw, things like that. So we got in there. They gave us all a goodie bag. Nice Konflikt 47 themed goodie bag, I might add. So naturally, what does War Games do as soon as we get this? We crack it open, we have a look inside. Now, I've got some extras in here. So what I'll do before I get into the day proper, I'll go through the goodie bag. And I've got some extras that I picked up on the day, bought separately, things like that. So for a start, we'll go with the first few bits that we got free in the bag. It's all going to get tangled up now, isn't it? I apologise for any rustling. We got our complimentary dog tags. I'll lay this here. You can see that there. We got our complimentary dog tags, and I'll put some pictures up for close-ups of things like this. These are our Konflikt 47 dog tags. It's got the logo on there, on the secondary tag. So would you call it a secondary tag? Not sure. It just says, "This is not war, this is the end." And that is the tagline of the game, because this isn't war, this is the end. So we got our dog tags. We got a complimentary sprue in our bag as well, of one of the new kits. I got where are we? This one here. I got the Fireflies, got a sprue of them, so I was happy with that, because obviously in the starter set, you're only getting 2 squads of Fireflies, and you get 12 total. So I've got an extra 6 now that I can build upon. There's an extra squad, essentially. So I'm pleased with that. Let's pop these bits and bobs around here. We got our special character for the day, which is Roberta Wells. This was the open day figure. She is a hero for the US force in Konflikt 47. There's rules on the Warlord website for her. So that's nice. That's cool. It's a nice miniature. Obviously, like I said, pictures will go up with these. Got that one. We got complimentary dice as well, for die, which is really cool. It's got the Warlord W on the 6, so that'll be going in my dice bag. Hopefully it brings me luck. It probably bloody won't, because it's me. Did we get anything else free? Don't think we did. Oh, we did actually. There was one cool thing, which I'll get to. I'll get to in a minute. I'll crack this open, and I'll leave it there actually for 1 minute. So we got our bag, we got our free sprue, we got our event day miniature, got our die, got our dog tags. And then we were given an A4 sheet with seminars and things on, which I think I've got it buried in here somewhere. There we go. are welcome to the Warlord Games Open Day 2025. Open time, so there was factory tours, things like this. And then there was seminars. So 11 till 12 was all things Warlord with John Stallard and Rick Priestley. I didn't go to that one, unfortunately, because I was on the factory tour. 1 till 2 was This Is Not War, This Is the End. That was the Konflikt 47 seminar, which is the one I went to. That was with Peter Gosling, Dan Hewitson, John Heaney, and the author. It escapes me, but it will come back to me. I'll put a picture of him up in his name, because I feel rude not mentioning it. And then 3 till 4 was Third Time's a Charm, talking just about bolt action with Alessio, who wrote the rules. So yeah, on site they had a shop, things like that. So we got in, had a little look from my bag. They had some tents set up with games, demo games of all the Warlord systems. There was another tent set up with a load of epic armies that a gent had painted, and they were fantastic. I mean, thousands of miniatures, thousands. I've got no interest in epics. I like to look at them. I've got no interest in playing them or painting them. I think the sheer amount of them would just drive me insane. But to see them in person laid out, it was incredible. Really, really, really stunning stuff, like real time and dedication and love's gone into them. So that was really, really nice to see. I'm saying a lot on. I need to stop. I need to make a conscious effort to stop that. So yes, we got in and I thought, right, I'll get myself booked in for one of the factory tours straight away. But that's one of the bits I'm really excited to see. I like seeing things like that, how things are made, how things are, processed, and because it's everything's in one site at Warlord. You've got a shop, you've got the design offices, you've got John Stallard's office, you've got the factory, you've got where they're doing resin casting, cider casting, metal casting, the warehouse, they're picking and packing there, they're sending stuff out. It's amazing, really. For the size of the site, the stuff they've got going on, it's mad. So yeah, got myself booked on a studio and factory tour. I managed to get on the 10 a.m. one, which was great. So we got on that, and we going round, and we had a chat with John first, which was really interesting. So that was nice. It was in his office, so we were all in his office, and he's a real open book about Warlord, about everything. About the future of Warlord. Where he wants to be. He said he's happy with this site. He likes that it's all contained. Everyone's in one place. Everyone can all be together. Everyone can collaborate together. And nothing was off the table. Someone asked him, would you change anything? Looking back now, knowing what would you change anything? He said he'd have left Games Workshop earlier. If he had the balls, I suppose, to do it earlier, the courage. He said he'd have done that. He'd have got this started earlier. And he's got some game systems he wants to work on. He was talking about Pony Wars, Plains Wars. That would be really interesting with all your Indians and their painted horses and things like this. That would be really, really cool. And he just seems like a really passionate guy and a really nice guy, which is quite refreshing, because I think sometimes with a lot of these companies, you get a lot of corporate answers when they ask questions. And he was just quite open. I'm just like, yeah, this is how this works, or what ranges and adding things, and why stuff would be in resin, why stuff would be in plastic, and certain products. He's like, he knows there's a market for things, but they're not going to make a plastic frame of something if only like 5 people want to buy it. That's stuff that goes into resin, or one-offs. Things like the mouse, the tank, the mouse. I'll put a picture up. That's obviously a limited run. It's a solid resin piece with metal, but they're not going to make that in plastic. No one's going to buy it. No one needs one. It's a very niche thing. So that was interesting. I was really, really fascinating talking to him and listening to him speak about his passion for the industry and the company and everything they do and things he's excited about in his projects. I saw someone briefly mention to him about he starts his own podcast and talk about things, which I think would be fascinating. He's been around a long time in the industry, and he's obviously got lessons that he's learned and things he'd do differently. And anyway, I digress. I'm rambling, aren't I? So, lovely chat with John. Really, really nice guy, an open book, and he just seemed really, really happy to just talk and answer questions. And like I said, it was refreshing. From there, we went into the design studio. Now, this was fascinating. We got to meet studio painters. We got to meet sculptors. Pete Gosling was in there, obviously the man behind Konflikt 47. He was sort of project managing the whole lot. They had all the new miniatures in the cabinets. They had the big Konflikt 47 display. It was stunning. It was beautiful. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. You got to see all the new releases. So, obviously, like I said, as I'm talking, things will be coming over the screen. It's going to be looking at me, staring down the camera at you. And yeah, so all these miniatures and the discussions around like the sculpting, how they do that, and a lot of it, it's all, they do more traditional sculpting, but they also do a lot of digital sculpting now. And, you know, that factors into, I believe, into like the Cyocast production, things like this. The Warlord Resin production, sorry. You know, they can prototype stuff faster. You can 3D print a sculpt, see how it looks, a physical 3D object in your hand, and you can go, yeah, that's great, we can make a master mold from that. Or no, that needs to be tweaked, because actually, on reflection, it doesn't look right. If you put it at that angle, it looks a bit strange. You know, straight on, it looks great, side on, but that angle looks a bit off. So that was interesting talking about that, seeing how that's done. The various bits and pieces coming together. And it was a melding of the old and the new. You know, you had a lot of this traditional sculpting and how that translates into the digital realm. Then there was the gent, I'm forgetting everyone's names here. I should have written things down, but I was too excited. There's the gent who does all the graphic design. Again, designs all the boxes, the instructions, everything. Absolutely fascinating just seeing someone work like that, because that's a lot of stuff that you take for granted. Like, how good does something look on a shelf? Is it appealing to the eye? And I love a good rule book. I love a good set of instructions. You know, if something looks nice, it's just so much better. Yeah, so that was fascinating. That was really, really cool. Seeing all this stuff up close and being able to ask questions. And the lady, the studio painter there, we'll put her name on the screen. She had a fascinating comment where someone asked a question about painting. I'm like, oh, what colours that you use that? She went, I can tell you. She pulled out, you know, she writes everything down, got all the recipes there. So if you want anything, there it is. So I might see if I can reach out to her and ask her a couple of questions about things. See if she can send me some paint recipes. Because that'd be really cool. From there, we were in there for a good little while looking at stuff, and got some of the miniatures in the cabinets. Do you know what I really love? I love in a rule book or an army book, you know, you flick through it and you see pictures of the miniatures and the tanks. And then there's something really nice about seeing those actual miniatures in the flesh in a cupboard or in a cabinet. I really like that. It's as weird as it sounds, it makes them real. Like, I know they're real things, I know they're in a book, but it just, yeah, it makes them real. But yeah, so from there, we went into the manufacturing side of things. Got to go and chat to a lovely gent who had a stunning cowboy hat on and a fantastic mustache. All about resin casting, which was interesting. Like, I 3D print, so I know a little thing or two about resin. But resin casting was like pouring, it was just something else. It was fascinating. They showed us all the big molds and different types of molds they use, the type of resin they use, why stuff would be in resin and not metal or plastic, and vice versa. So that was really interesting. And it's always great when these people share their knowledge. And what was brilliant was everyone's so passionate. Everyone was so open and just like, yeah, they're not, it didn't come across like a man who's just sat there like, oh, just doing my job, mate, you know, just do this. He was genuinely passionate about, like, this is what we do and this is how it works, and feel the way to this and look at this and this is what this is. And that makes all the difference. And I think that shows in Warlord's products, especially as they're coming on now. The new plastics are amazing. The resin stuff's better. The Warlord Resin, I really like Warlord Resin, really like it. But yeah, so we had a good chat with him. That was fascinating. We were in this room just full of boxes of all the casts, and you know, there's just bits of like tiger tanks there and turrets for this and this and that. And it's just like, whoa. You know, if someone said to you, here's a basket, go and pick some bits, you'd just be like, happy days. So from there, we left that lovely gent behind, went downstairs and went to the Warlord Resin production bit. Now, this was really interesting. So my understanding of Warlord Resin previously was that it's Cyocast. And Cyocast has got a bit of a bad rep for quality. But Warlord and their Warlord Resin, which these miniatures are made out of, have perfected the recipe, as the gent was saying. He said, so it's not traditional Cyocast. He said, so when they first launched Warlord Resin, it was a bit bendy. Then they changed the formula and it was a bit brittle. Now it's pretty spot on. I'm confident I can glue the arm on this and drop it on the floor. The arm might come up and not going to like break per se. It's not going to shatter into pieces like some resin. Yes, they went through that process and it's all recyclable as well. So they were basically saying, the gent was saying to us, the way it works, you've got this machine and you have your mold, two sides to it, put them together, put them in the machine, it vacuums it, applies pressure, and then it, what's the word? It forces the Warlord resin into the mold. It's like an injection mold. There you go. It's like injection molding. Then it comes out. It's incredibly hot. But then they just pop it open and go, yeah, that's that. Leave them there. It's cool. And he said, if they have a range of miniatures in this stuff that isn't selling or for whatever reason, they can just recycle it. They have a machine over the other side. They can just chuck all this stuff in, ground it back up into the pellets, and they put it back in. And the whole thing's recyclable as well, because it's made out of, I want to say it was like, was it rapeseed oil or something like that? Absolutely fascinating. Fascinating stuff. So when we were there, they did a batch for us, like, which was really cool. And we got to see that. Got to see the machine running and this, that, and the other. And yeah, we got our very own miniature out of it. And the detail on it is stunning. Is it the Nactalban? One of their the Axis genetic experiments. It's got one of them. And the detail, I'll put some pictures up of this, because he showed us, and I've seen Warlord resin in their Soldier of Fortune stuff. But a miniature like this, I was like, bloody hell, the detail on this, the claws, the veins in the arms, it's just, yeah. Amazing. So again, Warlord, they're innovating. I'll put that up there so we don't lose it. That was fascinating. And again, he was really passionate about it. And we were talking about what's your favourite range. And he mentioned about the elephants for the epic scale stuff, and all different style of elephant heads. And one of them was like throwing a Roman and all this. And he was really, really passionate again about like, yeah, this is what we make and we love it. And again, the questions we were asking as a group, nothing was dismissed. Everything had an answer, and it was nice. And it was real, just like, it was nice to have someone talking about their job and what they do and just be happy about it and be really like, yeah, open, like, this is what we do and it's great. And he was really like, it's great, isn't it? Look at this. And he said, like, a couple of them failed for whatever reason. He looked at me, yeah, that's not quite right. That's not, yeah. So they just go in the recycle bin and ground up eventually, and then they'll come back through and they'll be made into something else. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, so from the Warlord resin casting station, we went over to the metal casting station, and a lovely Aussie gent. He was having some banter with the guy about Games Workshop and this, that, that was quite funny. And he was explaining how it works, and they've got a new automatic casting machine now, so they don't do so much of the old style spin casting, and they've got an automatic machine. He's explaining how many miniatures they make a day. Was it like 11,000 potentially, something like that a day? They can make up to, and all the different ranges and things that he, his favourite miniatures, and he really enjoys like his Australian miniatures they do, because they look battle worn. He says he's working on some resin tigers and things like that. Yeah, again, he was passionate about it. No question was silly. It was like, right, silly questions like, how do you make a mold and what happens when the mold breaks? And he's like, well, generally they don't, because they, they've got some mold there, he said, from basically when the business opened, that are still running. Obviously, the more intricate stuff can wear out. Yeah, there was also, I'm going to digress, go on a little tangent. There was a lady who was working as well, who we didn't get to talk to, but she was creating a mold at the time. And I had a look as we were walking past, and it's fascinating. There's a little tray, and they're doing this, that, and the other, and molds. And I thought, that's a skill, to do that and do it well and make sure it bloody works, like, is beyond me, like. But yeah, so that was fascinating. They were talking about the metal casting and why some miniatures are still in metal. It was sort of discussed at one point on the day that ideally Warlord would love to do everything in Warlord resin and plastic. Obviously, it's a cost-effective thing. Plastic mold apparently costs like, £15,000-20,000 a pop. So you can't just change your whole range overnight. But yeah, so the metal casting, again, fascinating stuff. And you know what? It sounds really cheesy and cliche, but to see this stuff in person and to really see where stuff comes from is like, wow, that metal miniature I've got at home was made in that room there and sent out to me in the post, which is bizarre. Yeah, big ingots of metal, and they use a different type of metal for some of the walkers and stuff like that because it's a bit stronger, and it was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Like, and from there we went out into the warehouse proper. Then went through the packing room, which was again interesting. All this stuff, and there's a lady there just putting parcels in. these people, so we get a little card, little Warlord cards with names on. These are the people. Oh my God, this is where it happens. This is where the magic happens. Like, but yeah, then we went out into the warehouse, into the warehouse, and yeah, that's where they had some of the activities on. Then they had the shop as well, which we'll get to in a minute. They had 2 activities on, so they had paint and take, a style trooping, which I participated in. Yeah, Joe, we'll talk about that first. So we had 10 minutes to paint a style trooping. You had limited colours in front of you, and you just had to do your best in 10 minutes. My head just switched off. I'm one of these people who takes hours to paint something. It still doesn't look good at the end. Like, so 10 minutes, I was like, I may as well just melt it on the seat. But I gave it a go, my limited palette. Came up with this guy. So if anything, I got a free style trooping out of it. He's an additional character or soldier that I can put in my army. The army painter paint we were using, the yellow was really nice. But yeah, he's not the best. He's got like a UN Peacekeepers helmet on, which I'm pretty sure the style trooping are not UN Peacekeepers. Yeah, we'll stand him up there. I'll put a couple of closer up pictures of him on the screen as well, just for you to laugh at. But no, that was good fun. What else was there? There was you could build your own Firefly. I didn't get a chance to do that, to be honest. There was a kit bashing station run by Curtis from Ramshackle Games. That was really cool. Some people were putting some mad things together. I put a couple of pictures up. I'll credit everyone, obviously, if I use anyone's photos. That was really cool, just looking at people building stuff. The creativity and how people's brains are just like, seeing all this stuff. Fascinating. So by the time I'd done all that, it was almost time for the Konflikt 47 seminar, which is the one thing I was staying for, because I had to head off after that. Like I said there, I live 2 hours away. I've got a couple of kids and a wife at home, and the Saturdays are our only day together, really. So I had a little bit of time to kill. So I went to the shop, which is always dangerous, isn't it, when you go to these places, because you get caught up in it all, and everything looks so nice and shiny, and I was seeing things. I want to buy that King Tiger with a rail gun. I want to buy that Panther with a rail gun. I want to buy that Walker. I want to buy this Walker. Look at that tank with the bloody big legs on it. And oh my God, the things I could have bought. But I was proud of myself. I was good. I bought a couple of blister packs, and I bought one mech. So we'll start off. That's what else is in this bag. Oh, and I also bought, but it's not here with me, a copy of War Games Illustrated, because you've got a free sprue on the front. So I got a free Firefly sprue, goodie bag. So I got the Style Trooping sprue on my War Games Illustrated. War Games Illustrated is in my work bag, because I'm reading that at work at the moment. But yeah, so I've got additional Style Trooping there. There's another unit of them. Sounds the game. So obviously I'm a bit far away from the camera here, but I'll put some closer up pictures of these up. What did we pick up first? So I'd seen these on the Warlord website a while ago, and these are just some small characters put as units for Konflikt 47, and these are more around just figuring out paint schemes for me. I picked up a set of the German heavy infantry with LMGs, so I'll put a picture of this up and a picture of what they actually look like. Because I just like the look of them. They're smaller than the Style Trooping, and they are their own unit in the game as well. Obviously I bought more of them. So I had one of them. Who else did we buy? Oh yeah, this one. This is one I was excited about. The German Specialist Medic. So he looks like a mad scientist. And he comes with 2 basic bodyguards. So I'm going to use him as a medic in the game, and he can have the 2 bodyguards in the game as well. So I was looking at my Konflikt 47 lists today. Go down the rabbit hole with that. So I picked up a set of them. Again, put pictures up. But they're really cool, and the troops that are with him, they look like bloody Hellgast. And I think that's the theme I'm going to go with my army, almost like a Hellgast looking force from Killzone. But that one, I also picked up the German heavy sniper team, which you can't have a force without snipers, can you? And yeah, I'd spotted this a good while ago on the website. I thought I really liked the look of that, so I picked one of them up. And again, these are metal, and these were made in that room that we were in just before, talking about the guy who made them. Mind blown. But yeah, so that was those pickups. And then the big one, the one I'd seen this a while ago and thought, I've got to have one of these. Got to have one. I got myself one of the new, well, say the new, it's the old style, but in the new packaging. The Hausschreck Medium Panzermech. I think it means locust or grasshopper in German. So yeah, I just love the style of it. I love the look of it. It feels a bit power loady from the Alien films, which is cool. So I might even paint up his arms yellow or something. But yeah, so that's that one. Again, these have been around for a good long while, but they've repackaged them, and you've got to pick stuff up, haven't you? Because you're there on the day. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to getting this together, getting this painted. Again, factored them into my army list earlier. These things eat points. They eat points. And I hope they're worth it, but at least it'll look good on the table, even if it only lasts one turn, eh? But yeah, so I got myself one of them, and that was the end of our bag. So that was my bag. I'll just stick that there. So yeah, I then went, it's a bit rambly this one, isn't it, today? I'm sorry about this, guys. Stick it on when you're having a cup of tea or something. Might just, tide you over a little bit. Then we went to the Konflikt 47 seminar, which is the thing I was excited about, the most excited about. And again, like I said earlier, everyone on that seminar was so passionate about the game. Peter Gosling you can see that he loves it. Every single thing about it. And he was talking about new units coming and they're sending messages to each other and they're talking about this, that, and the other. And everyone's so into it and is like, I feel like they know they're making something special with this. And I think it is. I've not played the game yet, but the passion behind it, the way the community's got behind it, and just listening to them talk on the day, it was infectious, to be honest with you. Pete Gosling was saying like they've got a whole plan for like this wave, shall we say, 5 to 7 books, and it's going to culminate in a big, final battle or whatever for that part of the story, and then it'll move on to another part of the story. Anyone who's got old Konflikt 47 stuff, it all works. All those units still exist and can be used. The army lists, free PDFs, and they can just update them as they add new units, make slight adjustments, tweak point values, things like that. So all you need to buy is the rulebook, and the army lists are free. A winner, an absolute winner. And they're on the Warlord app as well. Obviously, you've got to pay for the Warlord app, but they're on there, so can't complain at that. They were talking about the Rift. What is the Rift? They're not telling us what the Rift is. But it's presenting itself, which is really interesting. It's presenting itself differently to different nations. You've got the US who are taking it as this is God speaking to us and we've got to save the world. Germans are looking at it a slightly different way and they're doing more genetic experiments. The Russians, I believe, don't have their own Rift, but they're using spies and things across the other nations and accumulating knowledge and technology and doing their own genetic experiments. Some of their bears, oh my God, the bears. Yeah, I'll put pictures up of all these guys as we're talking. So like they've amalgamated some nations under the Axis, stuff like some of the Italian units, but the Italian units can also be used in the Commonwealth, things like this. The Japanese are coming, the Russians are coming, the Commonwealth, the US, obviously the Axis. And when they were talking about obviously it's Weird War, it's 1947 onwards, things have happened differently. They were saying like the atomic bomb was developed, say, 18 months earlier than it was in our timeline. Why is that? What's going on there? The US are upset with the Commonwealth because the Commonwealth's really AI focused, technology focused. They're using automatons and things like this, automatic troops, but they're not sharing that technology with the US. Are the US going to end up being the villains? I don't know. Roosevelt went into the Rift and came out and he was like a Superman. Stuff like this, it's just it's mind-blowing, but it's fascinating because I love history and I love alternate history. And one thing that was fascinating, and I want to say the gent's name was Roger. I'm going with Roger. If I've got it wrong, I wholeheartedly apologise. But he's like one of the masterminds behind the law. And he basically let slip that they've gone back 500 years through history. And there's things that have happened through history where in their timeline, they're like, yeah, influenced by the Rift. Little things happening. There's always been a plan. The Green Vault, they were always there ready to just swoop in and go, yeah, we're taking this. And if you want a big primer on all the lore, read the army lists. Some of the units have loads of lore in them, and a description of the unit. And the page at the beginning of each army list explains that nation and sort of where they're at. But yeah, the passion behind these people, and they're talking about like designing units and updating a few bits and bobs, and then that'll turn into, they've basically built a new mech for the Russians, the Molot, I want to say, the Moloch. That was meant to be a slightly updated version of one of the existing mechs, but it's turned into a whole new one. So they're like, yeah, great, we're just going to build that, go for it, fantastic. And yeah, it's just, and it's so, it was nice to listen to the community asking questions, you know, about like, what's the rift? Are there going to be UFOs? They said there's not going to be UFOs because that implies aliens. And, you know, if aliens, it becomes another. So that was interesting. So they're trying to keep it grounded. Like they were saying, so a lot of these, the units like you see in like the wolves, the bears, things like this, they're saying they're not werewolves. They are genetically modified people. I thought that was an interesting take. They're not just like this mythical thing that's always been there. It's like these are genetically modified people. These are experiments. You know, the Russian bears are pumped full of this serum that's on their back in these big tanks. So yeah, it's just like, the information coming out on the day is just like all this really cool stuff about this amazing setting, and it's the dog's bollocks, to be honest. It's like one of those things. Like I love bolt action, I love it. But this is like, I've been thinking about this since the weekend, since I went to Warlord's Open Day. I'm sitting at work, I'm looking at units on the computer. I should be working. Sorry, boss. And I'm thinking, how can I build this? How can I do that? How do I paint that? You know, it's getting me excited about things like that. Oh, I want to paint that in that style. And someone will post it on the Konflikt 47 Facebook group. And I go, look at that, I'll save that. What's your paint recipe like this? And, you know, everyone's engaging about it. Everyone's sharing recipes. Everyone's sharing the way they're painting their Style Trooper and their Fireflies, all this stuff. And it's just awesome. It's absolutely wonderful. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Like I said, I've not played a game. I could play a game and hate it. I bloody hope I don't, because I've had my moments I'm obsessed. But no, it's so nice to see a group of people creating something that they're so passionate about. The community is passionate about. Because there's two sorts of voices, I think, with Konflikt 47, especially before it launched fully. There's the old guard who played the old edition of Konflikt 47, who are, you know, concerned that this, that, and the other is going to change, and this is changing Rift dice and all this stuff. There's the new folks to it, like me, who've never played it before, who are just excited at this weird war sci-fi-esque, still trying to be grounded in reality a bit. Game is coming out. These big mechs stomping people and railguns blasting things to bits, but heroes can turn the tide, and there's a little crossover between the two. It's interesting seeing the opinions of all, and I think the seminar, if you get a chance to watch it, I think it's going up on the Warlord on the Warlord YouTube page, and some of the YouTubers, Ministry of Miniatures, Mordy and Glory, things like that, I think they're putting stuff up as well. Watch it; it's brilliant. It's just a great listen, you know. And they're talking about their favourite units and their passion behind this, and I've used that word a lot, passion, but I think that is the thing that's coming out of this so much, that Warlord, the team there, are so passionate about it. I mean, the designer of the vast majority of the miniatures, he admits he's not even a war gamer, but even he's excited by this. You can see the passion for him. He's really excited to make these units and make them look as good as he can. But yeah, I mean, I just had a great day. And it's really nice being surrounded by like-minded people as well. You know, really nice people there, just chatting to as you're walking about. And what's that you've got there, mate? What have you picked up today? I've picked this up. Oh, I've picked one of them. Oh, I've already painted one of them, mate. Really cool unit. And I did this, that, and the other with mine. And showing pictures. And I was like, oh, wow, that's great. No, it's just nice. And yeah, I think that's probably where I'm going to leave it, guys. I think I've rambled long enough. So yeah, my take on it is, you know, Warlord Games, they're just going from strength to strength. Absolutely strength to strength. The kits are great. The plastics are bloody brilliant. Yeah, I can't wait to dive right in, guys. I cannot wait. I'm going head first, baby. Straight in, all the way. Yeah. Yeah. honestly, it's gripped me. I've got the bug. I've got the bug. This doesn't mean I'm going to turn away from my British Airborne project, by the way. I've got them all primed now. So my plan over the winter is to really get into all that, and I can sit down and do a load of painting over the winter, the autumn, winter. Yeah, the race is on to get this built now, get it primed so I can just get to work before I start adding more stuff, because I'm thinking some totem core and probably a king tiger with a railgun or a panther with a railgun are going to be ordered in the next 24 hours. Maybe I'll order both. Don't tell the wife, please. But yeah, no, guys, that's it for me from today. I didn't go to the bolt action seminar at the end. Like I said, I went to the Konflikt one, and I had to shoot off after that because I needed to get home. It was a 2-hour drive home. So the last thing I want to be doing is driving in all this rush hour traffic on a Saturday coming home up the M6 and stuff like that, which is, I don't like the M6 at the best of times. But yeah. So yeah, guys, that's it from me for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed me rambling. If you haven't, let me know. If you went to the open day, what did you pick up? And are you feeling this passion like I am? Because they've got me bloody hook, line and sinker. Yeah, so, big thank you to Warlord for the day. Putting an event like that is great. Yeah, and just as a hobbyist, it's a good time to be a hobbyist, guys. It's a good time to be a hobbyist. And so if you're not a war gamer, check out some of these miniatures anyway, because some of them are just going to be a dream to paint, a real dream to paint. So yeah, that's it from me, guys. I've rambled long enough for you. I'm going to go make a cup of tea now, and I'm going to dive into some of this beautiful plastic and resin and metal, of course. So yeah, if you've liked it, give us a like, a share, drop a subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel a little bit. Yeah, that's it from me, guys. Stay safe. I'll see you on the battlefield. Ta-ra.